Hi, this is Marianne Schultz at macgirl.net, and this is my video review of the Portenzo case for the Apple iPad that starts at $59.99. I'm going to do this review in two parts. First, I'm going to cover the Portenzo case by itself, and in the second half, I'm going to compare the Portenzo to the Dodo case, which, if you followed iPad cases at all, was pretty much the first Moleskine style case that came out for the iPad shortly after its release in April. But first, I'm going to go over the Portenzo case. Here, the exterior, I chose the black Morocco faux leather exterior. It has a very light texture to it. Feels very nice overall. No markings or other things on the front here. Looking at the back, the only thing you see here, and let me see if I can focus in on that a little better, is the Portenzo logo stamped on the back. Fairly subdued, not really obvious, which is generally the way I like my logos on products. I don't like them to scream out at you. Looking at the sides of the exterior of the case. So here at the bottom we have the dock connector cut out. It does work well with the cable that comes with the iPad that has a thinner plastic section at the connector portion. So if you have an older style cable that you've been using with your iPad, generally doesn't work with this case, but the one that comes with the iPad works just fine, no problems there. Looking at the right side of the case, you have a cutout here for the volume rocker and mute switch, now under iOS 4.2. I don't like this cutout all that much. It just bothers me that it feels a little short on the bottom here. It's actually a little hard to get to the down switch for the volume rocker. Moving along to the top, just move that elastic there. This is a cutout, of course, for the sleep-wake / power switch. And then over here you have a cutout for the headphone jack and the microphone. Now, oops, let me just show you the spine really quickly. Nothing there. If you noticed on the bottom, there is no cutout for the speakers. So let me open this up and show you. I chose the red interior here. What they've included here, see these little grooves or cutouts here above the speaker. This is what Portenzo calls their audio flow port. It's meant to channel the sound forward towards you. I found that it works fine. It sounds fancy, but it does just fine. This is a bamboo frame for the iPad, and I have chosen an extra option here. This is a box wave stylus, does not come with a case, but I added a stylus holder, and it's just an elastic loop here on the inside meant to hold, of course, the stylus that's you, or a pen if you want to keep with the iPad at all times. The iPad is secured by these rubber, see if you can see that, grips here in the corner. And they do a really good job of holding on to the iPad. If you look at Portenzo's site, they even have this video of someone shaking the hell out of an iPad, in this case over their lap, to show you that it's really not going anywhere. And I found that to be true. It's held very securely in this case. It's actually a little hard to get the iPad out, so I wouldn't recommend this case if you're someone who needs to or wants to take out their iPad frequently from a case and use it in another case, or just use it naked, that sort of thing, because the case really does a good job of holding it in. When it comes to using the Portenzo case, you can see here that the screen is not covered at all. You have full access to the entire screen, nothing blocking the home button, anything like that at all. Stand-wise, so if you like to watch movies, prop up your iPad in landscape orientation. It's not really meant for this per se, but you can, if you can kind of get a good balance. See if that stays, watch it fall down. You can use the cover to prop it up like this so you can watch a movie on a table, something like that. It is a little tricky here, and you can see that play in the spine. And that is another issue for me personally, just in terms of the way I use my iPad. I like to sit it on a table in front of me while I'm eating breakfast, stuff like that, and just have it at a better angle towards me while it's lying flat. And the spine here, I found that, given this kind of play that you can see here, it will occasionally just fall flat on me. It's a little annoying. Not a huge deal breaker, but this case is not my favorite when it comes to using it in this position to do some typing or something else, again, when it's on a table in front of me. If you want to prop it up, let's see, portrait orientation, of course, the cover works easily for that. I never use it like this, but in case you're one to do that, you can flip the, oh, that doesn't work as well, but you can flip it out the other way, theoretically speaking, to prop up your iPad that way. If you do like to hold your iPad in two hands, fold the cover back, that's not a problem. As I mentioned, it folds a little flatter, so it's still fairly easy to hold on to. In summary, I do think the Portenzo case looks great. I like the style of case, which is what attracted me to the Dodo case to begin with. It's pretty sturdy, fairly well built. I like the, I love the grips in the corner. My iPad feels really secure in here, as with the Dodo case as well. The cover is fairly stiff. Don't worry about anything happen to the iPad screen at all while it's in this case, of course within reason. The pricing of the Portenzo case is competitive with other cases in this, this type of style. And I like that they offer a lot of options too, that you can choose different interior colors at no extra charge, that sort of thing. The only two gripes that I have, I did show you how the spine can fall flat, and then also the volume rocker cutout here on the right is just a little too small for my liking. But overall, I think it's a good case. I think it's a good option if you're looking for this type of case at a fairly reasonable price. And now on to part 2 of my Portenzo review, where I compare it with the Dodo case, which, as I mentioned before, was essentially the first Moleskine style case that came out for the iPad, and was also my very first case that I received for the iPad. Looking here, this is the Dodo case on top, the Portenzo's on the bottom. They look and feel identical on the outside, so down to the materials, overall style, of course, and even here the way the logo stamped on the back. They look and again feel identical. Opening them up here, I chose red as the interior color for both of them. Again, interior pretty much feels the same here. Portenzo's red is a little brighter. I don't know if you can tell here. A little brighter red, a different, slightly different tone to it than the Dodo case. Where it comes to the frame here, this is where I see some of the larger differences, even not considering this extra part to the frame here to allow for the stylus, which is an added option that I chose. The frame for the Portenzo case feels a little sturdier, if you will, a little smoother as well. It feels like they finished it a little better than the one for the Dodo case. The Dodo case frame feels a little flimsier, and when I say flimsier, I don't mean that it doesn't hold on to the iPad. It does that, it keeps it in place, but it doesn't feel as substantial as the Portenzo case. Biggest difference between these two cases for me, it comes down to two things. So first is how secure the iPad is within both cases. As I mentioned in the first portion of this review, Portenzo's done a fantastic job of using these rubber grips here in the corner to keep the iPad in place. So when I have my iPad in this case, I don't feel like it's going anywhere. I can't even shake the dang thing out if I wanted to. With the Dodo case, it's not the same, unfortunately. These here are little foam pads, or stickers rather, that Dodo cases provided. These aren't even actually the original ones that came in the case when I first received it. Dodo sent out these replacements a little while ago, and I put these in, and they do a better job of holding the iPad in the case. However, it is not as secure in the Dodo case as it is in the Portenzo case. These foam pads, while they do hold it a little better, it's still possible to shake the iPad out of the Dodo case, so that is something to consider. Second thing that stands out for me, the spines are different widths. So if you can see here that the Dodo case's spine is a little thicker, so that stands out to me because I do use it in this position a lot, where I have it on a table in front of me, and I get a better angle for typing and for viewing with the Dodo case. And there's no, I'm trying to jiggle this, but there's no play at all in this spine, so it never ever folds flat on me or falls flat unexpectedly, which does happen to me a fair amount with the Portenzo case. Now I will say that I've heard that some people with their Dodo cases do have more play in the spine. So clearly some variations in the production process that might make your Dodo case act a little differently. Mine, however, is pretty much rock solid. So I really do like that. Overall, these cases are pretty comparable. On the one hand, I do vote for, if you will, the Portenzo case because it is very good at keeping the iPad inside. It's not going anywhere. It feels very secure. Materials and whatnot feel more or less identical between the two cases. Portenzo does offer you the option to add that stylus holder, which Dodo case does not. Both of them offer interior color choices, though Dodo case charges more for those, where Portenzo does not. Portenzo also offers more exterior color choices as well, and some other different styles. I believe, just off the top of my head, they offer a case style just like this that opens in portrait orientation though, so you do have more choices with Portenzo. Overall, both of these are good cases, in my view. This is a first edition Dodo case. I do think Dodo case has made some changes, so more recent versions are probably a little better at holding the iPad in place. I would say that I think Portenzo has taken over, has a bit of an edge when it comes to just overall quality when it comes to this type of case. I do go back to using my Dodo case, however, just because of this issue with the spine and how well it holds the iPad at a better angle for typing. So, but that's just a matter of personal preference. So if you don't use your iPad like that at all, it probably won't be an issue. But at any rate, that's my comparison between these two cases. I hope that helps if you're looking at these two cases trying to compare. I'm happy to take any questions. You can email me at info@mackerel.net, and thank you for watching.